Hello everyone, another lab demo today about Kafka. We'll discuss about the integration between Kafka and Ignition. I will talk about event streams, REST APIs, bridges, HTTP, Confluent, Debezium. We're trying here to benchmark few integration options in order to find out which one fits the best depending on your application. And again, it's all about a trade-off with your own environment. That's why I always put here the repo so you can reproduce this demo and make your own conclusions, right? You can basically just pull this source code from here, run it in a Portainer environment like this, for instance, and in just 1 minute, you will have all the environment to test all things that we will see today. So before doing that, let me do a quick reminder about the concepts. First of all, why do we use Kafka as a broker? Usually, most of you will be used to MQTT as a broker, especially for manufacturing environment, because we're just having to convey some, let's say, time series data, value of a pressure, value of a temperature across time, and you trend it in a graph, right? But when you're dealing with things that are not just data points, but event streams, then you need something more advanced. MQTT can do it for sure, but in the IT world, people are more used to Kafka. If you take applications like Uber or LinkedIn or things like Disneyland, for instance, they all use Kafka. Why? Because it's designed, it's made by the Apache Foundation to deal with those kind of large event streams, right? When you have thousands, millions of users interacting with an application, even if you are in a manufacturing environment, you want to use brokers like Kafka. Then let's assume you cannot change this requirement of using Kafka as a broker because sometimes, I don't know, there are many reasons, but one can be that the manufacturing facility and the entire IT infrastructure is built around it. You want to make sure every tool is integrated with it, or it can be integrated with it, and that's what we will see today with Ignition. So that's why we use Kafka, first of all. Then there is another important thing to understand. Normally, if you go on the Ignition website, you will see that there is an event stream module. It's called like this. That's supposed to be the one you use to connect Ignition with Kafka. But sometimes it's not a good idea to use this module. Why? I will give you like 5 reasons when it's limited to use that module. First of all, not everyone has the Ignition 8.3 version. So if you're not planning to make the migration to that new version, normally you don't have access to this event stream module, so you cannot integrate Ignition directly with the Kafka protocol. Second reason can be the budget, of course, because it's an additional module. Third reason when it can be limited is that if you see here, I've taken the picture, like animated picture from Ignition website, where you see that every stream needs to be configured drag and drop one by one. So sometimes it's not very convenient when you have to configure large amount of streams. You need something more, let's say, scriptable. Then fourth reason why it can be limited with this module, sometimes you need more Kafka options. Like, to be honest, it's a very advanced IT broker, and there are some things that cannot be done by this event stream module, even though it's already a good thing to have it in Ignition 8.3, but there are some Kafka options that cannot be dealt with this module. And the last but not least limitation is that when you're dealing with things like UNS specifically, Unified Namespace, sorry, there is consistency to keep across all streams. And if you already played or used the UNS, you know that inside a UNS stream, you have the event, the topology, and the data point. It's not just the data point, it's all three. So if you want to keep consistency, maybe using something like this will not be convenient because you want to add, I don't know, some node IDs, some topology names, etc. And that's not very convenient to do it in this way. So that's why we need more options, more power, more scripting power in order to integrate Ignition with Kafka Broker. Of course, if you just have like 5 or 10 data points, go with the module, event stream module. But if you need more things, definitely you need to consider other options. So what are the other options? first option would be to use the built-in REST proxy of Kafka, but you will need to deploy the entire Kafka environment, which is very heavy. It's like resource consuming. You will need a big infrastructure to do that. But if it's already implemented in your facility, maybe it's the way to go. It's that module, the Kafka REST proxy, that you connect with Ignition as an HTTP client. It will just post to this API, and the Kafka REST proxy will just convey the information as a producer to the Kafka broker. That's first option. What else can we do? We can use Debezium as a middleware. Like how Debezium works, it uses SQL database here. It can be whatever, like MySQL, SQL Server, Postgres, whatever, but it uses this database as a buffer. And then whenever there is a change on one line of this database, then it creates produce events to the broker. This is another way to do it, but it can be difficult because then you will have to maintain two databases at the same time. First of all, this buffer and probably a big data lake that is consuming from Kafka. So it's like a duplicate, and it's not very good idea. I went very fast, but one drawback also of having a big Kafka environment like this is maintainability, of course. So in this first case, difficult to maintain. In this second case, with Debezium, it's also difficult to maintain because you have to take care of two databases at the same time. I mean, if it's already existing, for sure, go for it. But if you're starting from scratch, maybe it's not a good idea to duplicate nodes or modules or databases. Then the third option, and that's the one that we're testing in this demo, is the custom bridge. Basically, we're just writing a Python script that is making the link between Ignition HTTP request and the produce event with the Kafka protocol. Basically, it's written in Python, not Jython, because Jython is very limited inside Ignition. It's like the Java version of Python inside Ignition. So we're really using like a Python 3.1 script externally outside of Ignition. We're calling it as an API, and this custom bridge API will do the produce events and post them to the broker, to Kafka. So that's what we're trying to test here. Let me see. Yeah, so this option is what we're going to see here. And let's go for it. So I'll go back to the demo. Let's see what we have here. First of all, we need some data points. And for that, we're using an OPC UA simulator connected to Ignition. In order to do that, you just use here OPC connection, and then you add it as an endpoint, like this. Then, apart from this data simulated, we want the Kafka broker, of course. So Kafka is here as an instance, and we also using the UI just to make things more visual. Inside this UI, the main thing that we are creating is the topics. So as I told you here, we are testing it with a UNS. So we need 3 topics, one for the events, one for the topology, and one for the actual process data. And those topics will be the gateway, basically, through which all the data or the events will go through. You can also monitor the consumers. Whenever something will be connected to the Kafka broker, you will see them here. But this UI is not compulsory. It's just a way to have it more visual. And then the last thing is the Kafka consumer. So something that can talk Kafka protocol and consume from it. It's here, and it corresponds to this page. So it's basically a web page that is built around CSS and HTML, so nothing fancy. It's just to see some data flowing here and consuming from the broker. Then where is our bridge? Where is our middleware that we're talking about here? It's in this module. So Fast API Bridge. If you go here on the GitHub repository, you will see the script is just one Python file, and inside it, you have everything needed to run this bridge. So basically, it's taking all the HTTP requests or posts from Ignition and converting them into Kafka produce events to the broker. Nothing fancy. And then once you have everything set up, you can start testing things. So the first thing that we can test, if we go here on the Kafka consumer, because then we can see like all data flowing directly from the OPC platform to the data visualization platform. First thing that we can test is the topology. So let's imagine inside your UNS, your topology changes or the naming changes or the node ID changes. You can basically click here on refresh, right? And whenever you will refresh, it will publish a new event stream to Kafka. And if you notice here, like this column topology, it refreshes every time we have this new topology. Then, second thing that we can see in terms of events is, for instance, the quality control, which is here, pass or fail, and the mode of the machine, like if it's running, if it's on hold, if it's stopped. Those type of events, they are not like continuous data points. Sometimes they are like binary data. Sometimes they are just like integers with the corresponding state, like one corresponds to running, two correspond to stops, etc. But those are the events. And then your actual physical data, which are measured in, degree Celsius, round per minute, counts, etc. Those are like live data that are coming from your machine. And of course, you can also transmit them via Kafka. And once you have all three, especially when you're dealing with a UNS implementation, you can be sure that your your, let's say, data structure inside your UNS can be consistent from Ignition to the bridge to the broker. Everything will be totally consistent, and that's one of the big requirements why we need sometimes to build the event stream ourselves. Again, if I go back to this slide, there are some things that can be done inside the event stream module of Ignition, but this built-in module will be difficult to integrate with a UNS implementation because of these three requirements, like the events, the topology, and the data. At least if you build your own script, you can be sure what you're sending through the data pipeline. I'm just going here through the data visualization just to show you a few things, but basically you can build an entire, let's say, data monitoring out of it, and see what's happening in your facility in terms of big data. Of course, once the data is going to Kafka, there are some more advanced IT tool to process this data, but I just wanted to show you here one quick example with this like demo factory that we have built. So before we go, I just want to make a few comments about this demo. So if I go back to the original goal of this, the goal was to check a few setup and compare like which one can be best to integrate, right? We saw like few options that we can use. And the idea now is to say, okay, once we have decided which integration we want to adopt, what are the trade-offs, what are the takeaways? First of all, it's very important to understand Kafka doesn't replace Ignition. It doesn't even replace an historian. Like if you used to the manufacturing setup, usually next to Ignition, you have a database historian, like time series database. It's not, Kafka is not designed to replace those type of historian because there are two totally different use cases. The historian is made for having real data on the field, inside the OT world, inside your local environment. Kafka is done to make factories talk together, and it's made to have bigger analytics on bigger databases. So if you have your local historian inside Ignition, it's fine, or next to it, but you can totally have Kafka also connected to Ignition through your bridge, of course, in order to expand your data analytics capability. Then the second comment is that, let me go back to it quickly. Second comment is that, again, the UNS is composed of many things. It's not just the data structured here in a tree view. It's also the topology. It's also the MES events, for instance. So in order to handle all of that, you need something more advanced. For instance, a script, custom-made library that you can use in order to build consistency across all your IoT infrastructure. Then why we had to build a separate Python bridge. If Ignition was able to run Python 3, we would have built it directly here. But if you see here, the Jython script that is used inside Ignition have some limitations. So we have to build it separately outside of Ignition. It's not a big deal. As you saw here, it's just one page of Python code, but Ignition doesn't support Python 3, which is a big limitation that everyone knows, but there are some way around, and that's what we tested here. Then this is about Kafka. Of course, you can add more consumers to it, but yeah, those are the main comments that I wanted to focus on. And then about the scope and limitation. So if one day you have to deploy this type of infrastructure in production, it will be very different than this lab demo, of course. So usually what we will have, instead of one Kafka broker, you will have a cluster of multiple brokers, right? And instead of using raw JSON, you will have maybe protobuf as the data format for conveying data. Here, what we're doing is we parsing all the data, putting them in a JSON, conveying them through HTTP to the bridge, and then the API bridge produce the same JSON on Kafka, and then it's analyzed by the data platform. But if you are on a production environment, sometimes instead of JSON, you will use protobuf as the data schema. But those are the main differences. Like everything else is about security, resilience, of course, data volume, but those are like no-brainers, pretty obvious. But the main differences that you will see between this lab demo and the production setup is, again, the Kafka cluster with multiple broker and the schema, which can be protobuf instead of JSON. That's about it. I hope I didn't forget anything, but if you have any question, or if you're having some issues when you will do this demo in your environment, don't hesitate to contact us. You have all our contacts in the description. I'll put the link also to this GitHub repository, and yeah, let me know how what you think about it, like how you were able to reproduce it in the comments. If you have any comments, question, or opinion to share, don't worry. The comments are here for that. So don't hesitate to send us your feedback. It will be useful to improve, and also to learn from each other, because as I said, every integration is very specific to your environment, to your constraints. And but at least here you have like different ways to do the same things. Right, thanks everyone for watching this demo. And yeah, we will see you together in the next demo, baby.